Life is weird.
Super weird.
So, what did we decide to do with our fascination for the strange and unusual?
We made a podcast about it. This is Weirdify. Now,
let's get weird. Okay, we're back. We're live.
And we're front.
And, we're back and we're front. And we're left and we're right. Oh, Haley is trying so hard to get in here.
I was trying to not have to use my foot to roll myself forward towards the mic, but...
Scoochy, scoochy, scoochy.
Scooch. Hi, welcome back. It's been so long. I'm sorry, that was really loud.
Jesus, it's fine. I don't need either of my eardrums for the rest of my life. It's fine.
You're good.
It's good. Hi.
As long as you have your hands.
Hello, Haley.
Hi.
It's been so long.
It has been so long. It's been the regular amount of time for our listeners, but I haven't seen you in a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, I've been here for, I'm not wearing my Apple Watch, so I don't know what time. But I've been here for approaching, 2 hours?
10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and we're now just sitting down to record.
Well, we ate breakfast, and it was...
Yeah. Thank you, TikTok.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah, thanks, TikTok, for deliciousness.
Yeah, for opening another... I have so many TikTok videos saved of cooking, and if you ever find cooking videos, it's because I'm... on your algorithm, it's because of me.
Thanks. I mean, I'm never mad at them, but they are out of place for my feed.
Oh, yeah. Yep. No, I've been getting the flight attendant TikToks.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I don't even really get those.
And I've been getting, the, you've got this, girl, kind of TikToks, too.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I do got this.
Those are always fun.
Yeah.
You're just like, thanks, random stranger on the internet, for instead of shaming me, just boosting me.
Yeah. It was really cute. I saw this one video and it was this guy and he was like a super cutie pie. And then he brought his friend in and he was a super cutie pie too, but he was like, wait, the first guy was like, wait, stop scrolling. And then he was like, hey, come here. And then he points to the screen and the friend's like, oh my gosh. And he was like, right? Isn't that the most beautiful person you've ever seen? It was just it was so cute, but it wasn't just like a thirst trap or something. It was just I hope you have a great day. It was like, you are seriously so beautiful. It was so cute. I was like, thanks.
You know what I wonder is people who are hearing this only through the internet, or people who just haven't boosted them throughout their life, and then you have this random
stranger
just hey, you are so beautiful, and
you're worthy, you deserve it.
Yeah,
I think it's really important because even if it's a generic video that's just out there for everyone and their mother to watch, you never know who it's going to affect. But it affected me and it was nice.
I think it finds the people it's supposed to find.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's beautiful. And I also think in today's day and the internet and just, these keyboard warriors and just whatever. And just anybody can be anybody behind a keyboard. And it's you actually want to promote positivity and self-worth
and love.
Yeah.
And build people up versus tear them down.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. It was so small and just so cute, but I was like, oh, thanks. I am beautiful.
You are beautiful, Haley.
Thank you. Anyway, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
So, on today's agenda...
Oh, wait. Okay. Oh. Sorry. The begonia that's in here. Look at the little babies. This is why I put her in today. Look at the little babies.
The tiny little babies.
2 little babes and this guy. And just a few weeks ago, this was a little guy too.
It's still going.
Somehow he's really happy here. A lot of plants have died. A lot of plants have thrived. And this one is just
it's
pushing out little leaves. And when the leaves are little, they're pink. And they're just so cute.
This one's still, look, this one's stem is even pink.
I know. That's a completely new shoot. It just came up out of
the ground.
And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then it started poofing a new leaf, and I was like, oh my God, it's just created a whole new vine of itself.
That just made me think of Aladdin where Genie's like, what do you need? What do you need? But I just think of I'm a leaf. I'm a leaf.
I'm a plant, so I make a new leaf.
P-F-F-F. That's the sound that a new leaf makes when it comes into the world.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. That was why I put this in the Weird for today.
Well, I like it because I've always liked this one because I'm a sucker for a good polka dot. And I just think this one's really pretty.
Sparkly polka dots.
Yeah.
Nature makes its own glitter. What the fuck? It's so cool. Anyways, okay, what were we saying?
What I was going to say was, on today's agenda,
Yes.
this is episode 34, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. Because I did 34.
Oh, okay. Then yes.
But we know that I'm super good at keeping track of what number it is because, what did I say? It was like 29 and you're like, we're on like 57.
And then you like said the other weird number.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it's this one. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. I just can't keep track of them.
Fine.
You're the one that remembers what episode was what and when we did it.
I don't anymore. That was when we had the teens. And now that we're in the 30s, I could not tell you.
Oh, I can't believe we're in the 30s.
I mean, like our first few, I remember vividly, but like after episode 6, it gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah, I have to go back and listen because I feel like we've come so far.
I know, we really have. Oh,
look at us growing.
Look at us growing.
We grow.
New leaves.
Episode 34. New episodes. Oh, God. Anyway, so yeah, on today's agenda for episode 34 of Weirdify. Who gave us this topic? Was it Alex? I have to imagine it was Alex.
I feel like, oh, you know what? It was me.
It was you.
And I'll tell you why when I do mine.
Oh, okay. It was Amanda. And today's topic, do you want to continue the vein of you talking about? Oh my gosh, this is really exciting. I did it all of the rest of forever, so you can do it for this year.
Fine. I've been looking very forward to this episode, so I love that I get to announce it. So today we're going to be talking about weird transportation. And I'm so ready.
Amanda's ready. Except I get to go first, and I'm sure mine's not nearly as cool as yours, but...
Stop, but don't say that. Don't talk about my friend's research like that. Whoa.
There's a person at my front door. I'll just turn that on silent. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I know that yours is probably going to be more cool, because this one was very hard for me. Like, this was just... I picked a transportation type that I've been... Like, I think it's fascinating and it's really cool, but I wouldn't say it's, like, weird. So I'm just really excited, because I know that you're really excited to share yours.
Okay.
And so I'm starting, so I guess we'll, just kind of ease on in there, and then you can really bring it on home. Okay, so weird transportation. I need to go to my email and not my calendar.
Bring it on up. Bring it on up.
Bring it on up. All right. So, episode 34.
Weirdify. Sorry.
That's okay. Weirdify. Transportation.
That's the one.
There is a long-time history of man and dog that spans back thousands of years. We have used dogs for a multitude of different reasons.
As you start this, the dogs are barking.
I know. They knew. They sensed it.
They're like, man and dog?
Man?
That's
man
us.
and dog? Man?
And me?
And me?
Okay.
So we have used dogs for a multitude of different reasons: to hunt, to herd, for companionship, and even as means of transportation.
Are you going to talk about dogs?
Yes.
Okay, that's clever.
So today I'll be covering dog sledding specifically.
Oh my gosh. That is so fun. Haley, you need to give yourself more credit.
It's not weird, but I just think it's really cool. I don't know.
We live in America. Okay, we don't. I understand
we don't
that
dog sled here.
Alaska's like part of America. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they dog sled in Alaska. I'm just guessing, but yes, it's weird for here. Like, we grew up in sunny California.
All right, yeah, we live in a chaparral. What doesn't snow here? We don't.
I'm saying, give yourself credit, homegirl.
Our version of dog sledding is like people on like a sunny day on a skateboard, and they have their dog like pulling them on a skateboard. That's the extent. See, they agree. The dogs next door agree.
Dog boarding. Please shut up, dog. This does not concern you. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I will be covering dog sledding.
Mm-hmm. I'm really excited about this.
Oh, I'm glad. So dogs' thick fur and padded paws have made them well designed to survive and thrive in the cold and snowy conditions. Because of this, dogs have had a huge hand in helping shape life in the far north.
Oh, like Alaska?
Like Alaska?
Did I call it?
You did.
And then it just kind of
You did?
It rolled off the tongue.
Alaska?
Alaska? Hey, that worked.
Yeah. Amanda just draped one, for those that can't see, obviously. Amanda just draped her, like, poncho blanket. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, it's like a muumuu type thing.
Yeah, like one of those ones that drape like a cape. Like a blanket cape.
It's like a cape with like arms that come all the way over your chest.
A canket?
But don't connect to the back. So then I threw the arms over top of the wheel.
Yeah, so now it's a nice little sound barrier. All right, look at you. All
and now
smart.
the dogs are done.
Yeah, of course. That's fine. You just stay extra warm.
That's great. That's fine.
Okay, so the oldest archaeological evidence of dog sledding has been dated to around 1000 AD. But it's also been said to have been around in Siberia even before that, which I thought was fascinating.
Holy
I didn't realize it was that old. I know dogs have been around for since ancient Egypt and just have, you know what I mean? But as far as dog sledding, that was surprising.
That's a lot of years.
It is a lot of years.
Random doggies.
So as far as why am I saying that weird? As far as archaeologists can tell, dog sledding was invented by the Native and Inuit people who had inhabited the area known today as modern-day Canada, and it is deeply rooted in their culture and eventually spread throughout the continent. So initially, the dog sleds looked very different than today's dog sleds. They usually were just a single dog pulling firewood or food supplies versus the sleds today that most people recognize that are pulled by a much larger team of dogs.
Okay.
However, as time went on, the appeal of using a large group of dogs definitely became more appealing as it meant larger loads could be carried. Wow, I can't talk. It's the mimosa. The mimosa. The mimosa. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, so more dogs meant that, oh geez, Louise, I can't even think straight.
No pressure.
Using a larger group of dogs definitely became more appealing as it meant larger loads could be carried over longer distances. More dogs meant that a more even distribution of energy made them more efficient. One team usually consisted of anywhere between 2 to 6 dogs, which is similar to today, but today I'll talk about it, but they actually use a lot more dogs than I ever thought.
Okay.
So upon arriving on the North American continent, colonists became fascinated by the use of dog sledding and quickly realized the value of using dogs during winter. So European settlers quickly began incorporating sled dogs into their lives also. The French-Canadian military actually used dog teams during the 7 Years' War because they were less expensive than horses and equally or sometimes more equipped to handle larger loads and the freezing weather combined.
Okay.
Russians are also credited with modernizing dog sledding to try to make it more efficient. The Russians. They lined the dogs up in single lines versus the original 2-line system used by the Inuits. Oh. They also taught the lead dog commands to try to make the team of up to 16 dogs work much more effectively as a team.
Whoa.
It was particularly appealing to polar adventurers on their quest to find the different poles. Polar adventurers. Whoa,
okay.
The Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen became the first person to reach the South Pole, and he famously used dog sleds on his journey.
Okay, cool.
Sled dogs were also used during the Alaskan Gold Rush because a lot of the gold camps were only accessible via dog sled.
Oh, wow.
So without them, all the different little gold towns that had developed during the Gold Rush wouldn't even exist. Which I thought was absolutely fascinating.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and Alaska's
so cool.
Full of just these tiny little pockets of towns, you know? So I just think about how many wouldn't exist because they weren't able to access them except through dog sledding. I know. I just learned so much when I was researching this.
Oh my God.
So much.
Okay, that is, wow. Fun fact. Super fun
fact. Fun fact. All the fun facts. So in 1908, the first formal dog sled race took place in Nome, Alaska. The route would follow that of Leonard Seppala, a Norwegian native who delivered diphtheria medicine to the struggling town of Nome.
I don't know why I thought you were just going to stop at diphtheria. I just am bringing it to you.
Here's some
We're mad.
Here you go.
That sounds like a rough time.
So this journey has become a well-known part of American history, and a statue of the lead dog, Balto, stands in New York City to commemorate this heroic act. The story of Balto is where I actually learned about dog sledding, but I know about it from watching the 1995 animated feature film where Kevin Bacon provides the voice of a very sexy cartoon version of Balto, who is half wolf and half dog.
I'm dead, Haley. Oh my God.
Okay, we've talked about this before. I'm sorry, but 90s animated characters, they made them real freaking sexy.
They really did us wrong.
Balto. You know the TikToks where everyone's like, you see me in hindsight, tangled up with you all night. Yeah, and it's just Balto. That would be me. I'd be like, oh.
Or mine was like really Simba.
Simba's
in
one.
His teenage
Robin
years.
Hood. I mean, that was the 90s, but yeah. So anyway, he was very sexy. Have you seen the animated Balto, right?
I've seen Balto. It's been a long.
We should watch Balto.
Long.
We'll have an Alaskan themed like hangout.
Can we do like ices or something?
We'll do like snow cones or like.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Please. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
no fish though.
We don't have to do fish. That's fine. Okay. We'll figure something else out. It'll be fine. So the route taken by Seppala and Balto would go on to become the route for the Iditarod. And in 1967, dog sledders at the time had tried to create a race that would maintain interest in dog sledding while facing new alternatives like the up-and-coming snowmobile.
Okay.
The first few races were well attended, but then interest dropped as the years went on. In 1973, the creators actually planned a new, longer, and more intense trail through Alaska that stretched all the way from Anchorage to Nome. The first winner of this race took 3 weeks to make the entire 938-mile journey.
Wow.
Norwegian dog sledders were inspired by the Iditarod and established the longest dog sled race in Europe, which is called the Finnmarksløpet.
Beautiful.
Actually, I think it did pretty well. I thought that was going to be a real struggle.
I think you did great.
So the first race of the Finnmarksløpet was in 1981, and there were only 3 mushers that participated. Today, interest is high enough that the race can actually have 2 separate classes, one for teams with up to 8 dogs and one for teams with a max of 14.
Wow. 14 dogs?
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was like a max of like 6 or 8. And then there's talking about like 14 team, like 14 team, a 16 team.
Put these? Are they their dogs and they like house them and feed them and own them?
I think some of them do. And then I think some of them just,
that's crazy.
They breed dogs, like they breed like dogs to be part of like a mushing team, basically.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So today, interest is high enough for the race, where the race can actually have 2 separate classes, one for teams of up to 8 dogs and one for teams with 14. The races cover approximately 310 and 620 miles and are held on the 10th week of the year.
620 miles, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first one is the Iditarod, and that's 938. I know. That's a lot. It's a lot.
What the fuck?
Just wait. So then, the races cover approximately 310 and 620 miles and are held on the 10th week of each year. Most of the participants are Norwegian natives, but some dog sledders from other countries also join.
Okay.
Another dog sled race is called the Yukon Quest and is known as the most difficult dog race in the world. It is 1,000 miles, and the route goes from Fairbanks, Alaska to Whitehorse, Yukon. Mushers will follow old routes used in the original days of dog sledding, and the conditions are often extremely dicey, thus making it super dangerous.
How long?
1,000 miles?
No, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Like, how many days is this?
Oh, well, the one guy took 3 days to cover 938 miles.
Oh,
so
it's a
like,
race.
Oh, yeah. It's like, it's a...
You just finish as quick as you can.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And
you think about
so you're like hauling ass on these dogs.
Yeah. But that's why it's multiple days, because they're living creatures. They can't just continually go for, like, they can't work in shifts.
I'm in awe.
You know?
Okay.
It's just bananas. So something I didn't realize was that different breeds of dog are used in dog sledding. I immediately just think of husky.
Sure, yeah.
Traditional sled dogs were chosen based on strength and stamina, but nowadays they are bred more for speed and endurance rather than actual sheer strength. The top breeds for sled dogs are the Alaskan Husky, the Alaskan Malamute, which is what my aunt has. But she has a giant one. She has the giant Alaskan Malamute that are like giant bears. I know.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. So the Alaskan Malamute, the Siberian Husky, the Canadian Eskimo dog, the Chinook, the Greenland dog, and the Samoyed, which is what my mom had, the big fluffy white ones.
Okay.
She said they're very stupid but very beautiful. But apparently they're very powerful and fast.
Yeah.
Today,
well, you don't really need them to be super smart as long as they haul
as long as they can pretty
snow.
much, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So today, as mentioned, there are still groups that are fighting to keep dog sledding alive because it
gosh.
has dropped in popularity due to the constant growth of new technology. Many tourist attractions have been set up where you can experience dog sledding for yourself and meet the different dogs that make up the different teams. There's even a group petitioning to have it selected as an official sport of the Winter Olympics.
Oh my gosh.
And with its deep roots that are woven throughout the Inuit and Northern cultures, I do hope that it continues to mush on for years to come.
Haley, that was so cute. And mush on.
So that is dog sledding.
Okay. I don't accept you be getting anything with like, it's not that weird, or like, I don't really know.
I just felt like it wasn't, like, when I think weird, I think of something like really out there, which I guess for some dog sledding might be, but like people have heard of it, and I was like, okay, it's just something cool and fun, and you clearly learned things that you didn't, and I learned things that I didn't know, so.
But here's the thing. It doesn't matter what somebody else thinks is weird. It is what we find
very
weird.
true.
Like, it's
very true.
If you think it's weird, and I think it's weird. I mean,
it's different.
Yeah, exactly. No, totally.
Okay,
no, you
fine.
killed it.
Don't accept it.
I don't accept it. I am so, that was so fun and so entertaining.
Oh, I'm so glad. It was actually really fun to like read, like
I
to tell it back to you.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just learned so much, and then I was just thinking about how badly I want to watch Balto.
Aw.
And so we'll have to make that happen really soon.
Yeah, we'll theme that day as well.
Yeah. No fish. And the entire time, whenever they would talk about Balto, the only thing, I mean, you haven't seen it in a hot minute. Do you remember, like, the Russian goose? That's like his, no?
No.
Well, he has, like, this Russian goose that's kind of like his, like, coach / best friend / like, whatever. And it's, like, this old, like, Russian guy. Kind of like Bartok, but older.
Bartok.
Yeah. And so he's like, let me tell you something, Balto. A dog cannot make this journey alone, but maybe a wolf can. And the entire time I was like, I would read Balto, like, you know, and it just, I just kept thinking, like, let me tell you something, Balto. Anyway, yeah, we'll have to watch it. I had it on VHS, but we'll have to just like rent it on Amazon or something. Anyway.
This is like a little bit shifting gears, but you just mentioned VHS. The newest Ghostbusters that came out, Ghostbusters Afterlife, they're releasing it on VHS. And they like
how cool
the VHS that they're, which I was kind of like, okay, like that's cool, but also like
who has the technology anymore?
Why? But that's fine. It's retro, it's vintage, fine. But it's kind of cool because they are making it already look really old, and then they have like a, what did they say, like, rent it for one day, and then they have like a $6.50 sticker on the bottom. Like, it's all like blockbuster themed.
Oh my god.
Like, it's pretty cute. It's pretty cute. I'm sorry. It's like totally shifted gears.
No,
but you mentioned
that's
VHS.
Super cool.
And
that's super cool. Michael's brother and our sister-in-law, they live in Bend, Oregon, and Chandler was just up there, which is Michael's other brother, was just up there for the like Christmas time. And they had the last Blockbuster. And so when they came down a little bit before, they brought us all like Blockbuster ornaments for our trees.
Oh.
And it's like the last Blockbuster.
It says that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
and it's
cute.
like, it looks kind of like the membership cards that people used to have as like with Blockbuster.
Gosh,
and so that's like
cute.
what the ornament is. But anyway, yeah.
I have a lot of memories at Blockbuster.
Me too. Kind of gummy bears.
Gummy bears.
Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, with a certain amount of like rentals, you got like free candy, and one was like a pound of gummy bears.
Oh God, no. We must have had a different rental experience. But ours was right next to Little Caesars, so we would go.
Oh, the one right there on. Yeah.
Oh. It's 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so Haley brought focaccia bread. Well, it's now bread.
Yeah, I brought the dough because it needed to rest.
And Alex knocked to say that the timer had gone off.
Yeah. So the bread is ready and it's sitting and resting. And we're going to eat it after this.
Anyways, Blockbuster. Good times. Good memories.
Times. Yeah.
Little Caesars.
Simpler times.
Yeah.
Simpler times. I kind of miss the days where you could go, you could rent a movie, and then you didn't have to have so much like DVDs or like, I mean, granted, you don't necessarily need DVDs anymore because everything's stuck in like your virtual queue or like saved to your library. But if there's like a technological or like an electronic like warfare that happens, then you can't access anything ever. It's like, well, maybe we can make like a potato generator, and then we can like plug our DVD player and still watch like
why not
Balto. You know, only the necessities.
Yeah, that's true. I have my necessity DVDs. The ones that come to mind that I have are Alice in Wonderland, The Little Mermaid,
Devil Wears
Prada, Bridesmaids, Girls Trip. So I'm set.
Yeah. I have quite a few, but
I have very minimal DVDs. But the ones that I have, man, they are the
ride or die.
Yeah, they're the
ride or die.
That's true.
I saw this Instagram like poll thing today, and it was like, which do you prefer? And it was like a this or that type situation, and it was the animated Disney movie or the live action that they've done. And I literally was like animated. Like I didn't click any of the live action ones.
Yeah.
The live action Cinderella was not bad, but it wasn't nearly as good as the animated one. So I was like, is this really even like a question here?
No.
This doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, what are you asking?
What are you asking? All right.
Okay.
I'm ready. Okay. Transport me into your transportation.
Okay.
Mush.
Shall do. All right. With so many ways to get around these days, cars, planes, subways, trains, bikes, etc., there's a multitude of modes of transportation to get you where you need to go that's faster than your own two legs. Yes,
was this a topic that you found, or did Alex help you with this one?
Okay, let me read a little bit more.
Okay.
Because it's a little bit of both. It was like an inspiration from something that we did.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay, so there's a mode of transportation that's more or less extinct. I've known what I was going to do for this episode for quite some time. And I'm like, I'm honestly
it's finally happening.
I'm ready. My body
Her body's been ready for so long.
Especially because like I want to tell you everything that I do, or just like, oh, I did this cool thing, and
but
it was
you haven't
so much
because
fun.
you didn't want to spoil it.
But when it comes to a Weirdify topic, I'm like, no, like I
can't
have to
tell
just,
her
like,
everything.
I have to just like push this down.
Oh, that must be really hard for you. Well, I'm finally glad that you can like release it and
it's bubbling up to the top right now.
Okay.
All right. So in August of 2021, Alex and I went to a small town on the Oregon coast called Cape Mears for vacay. August.
Oh, wow. That's like a long time ago.
While there, we celebrated Alex's birthday. And in true Alex fashion, he wanted to go to a museum. In Tillamook, there's an air museum appropriately named the Tillamook Air Museum that we spent the day at on his birthday. We also went to the Tillamook Creamery, but if you're in Tillamook, go, because it's like...
It's the best ice cream.
It's like the Disneyland of Tillamook. It is so much fun. Did you
get ice cream?
Well, yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah. No, you go and it's like you walk. It's really like nice and kind of like modern, and you walk in and they kind of just like walk you through the process of how they make their cheeses. And there's like this whole screen that's like, oh, we use more cream in our ice cream and less water and less air, and like
that's why it's the best.
It's really cool to like see the cheese literally being packaged, and they have this huge gift shop, like huge gift shop. There's like a humongous cafeteria too, or like food court kind of area. You can get ice cream and you get cheese samples. When we went there a couple years ago, like pre-COVID, and they had 4 different cheese samples that you could take, and they had like little tongs and stuff. But
like Costco type setup? Okay.
But post-COVID, when we went in August in 2021, they have like you would buy them in bags or something, and they're like little individual little cheese slices that are individually wrapped. That's what they pass out now, as opposed to just like an open vat of cheese, basically.
Yeah.
But either way, you get cheese samples. Like, it's just a good time. It's usually like there's a little bit of a line because it truly is like the Disneyland of Tillamook, but it's fun. Anyways.
I'd do it in a heartbeat. I love a good cheese and ice cream.
Absolutely.
Anything.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on from the creamery. So we went to the Tillamook Air Museum, and amongst the older planes that Alex, of course, enjoyed looking at, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but he's an airplane mechanic, and he works on smaller planes like a lot of the ones that are on display in this museum. So amongst many of the older planes, they also have a collection of retro fire engines, which was so cool.
Ooh.
They have jet fires. I know this isn't going to be that exciting to you, but it was really cool for me. We got to see the F-14 that was literally in Top Gun. It was really cool. because I love Top Gun. They have engine cutouts, like where they literally slice the engine in half.
Just to see the inside. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's cool.
And then whole entire engines that you can look at. The museum is focused around World War II. So this is really sad, but there's like a little makeshift bomb shelter that you can go in. Oh. And it has like 4 little teeny tiny beds that you would like sleep on. And inside of it, which like I'm, like 5'3", and it was like small for me. I didn't really have to like squat, but if you're any taller than me, which most people are, you're going to have to squat. There was like all these like kind of retro things on the bed from like that time. And one of them was a gas mask. And it was like, if Hitler gassed, you're going to want this mask or something like
the propaganda
that.
Or like
it was so
that's
sad.
Really...
It was dark.
Stuff like that really puts things in perspective for you. That's how I felt when we went to like the concentration camp in Germany. It just was like, it humbles you.
Yeah.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah.
Gas masks just scare me too. I don't know why. Something about them just is so eerie to me. Mm-hmm. Maybe because they're just like connected to just like imminent destruction and just like sadness. And,
absolutely.
Oof, yeah.
No, it wasn't a good time. It was really sad.
Yeah.
There are several exhibits of miniature scenes from World War II that had miniature boats, and they were huge. I mean, you would like literally walk through these whole entire miniature exhibits. And
I love a good miniature.
Little boats and little people and little people doing their little jobs, and just it was cool. It was really cool. There's a room that has older clothing from that time period with uniforms and awards and guns. And actually, I remember it kind of like tickling my throat because it was just not like musty. That's not what I'm saying, but it kind of was. Like I walked in and I was kind of like, like everything is just
like
old.
It's like stale air kind of.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's got guns and awards and just all these different, really, really cool though. I mean, literal artifacts from World War II. Mm-hmm. There's even a little movie theater where you can watch short films, mostly about the war. And they play the same films every day. Most of them are like 45 minutes to an hour, all about World War II. Or like not necessarily all about World War II, but mostly about the war and then about other things that I'll get into.
Okay.
And then there's one little 20-minute snippet of like women in World War II. And it was talking about like, wow, man, they give us like 20 minutes. And then Gina, Alex's mom, was like, yeah, because we only needed 20 minutes to make it.
Yeah.
We didn't need a whole hour. Like,
yeah.
We're
said what we needed to say. As hell.
We got it done. 20 minutes was all we needed. Like, I was like,
it's so true.
I love you so much. Okay. Now here's what's hard to believe. With all of this stuff that we walked around, planes and fire trucks and exhibits, it took up less than half of the entirety of this building that we were in.
Okay.
And there was still tons of space to walk around in between these exhibits. And that is because the Tillamook Air Museum used to be a blimp hangar.
Oh!
And was built for the sole purpose of housing Navy blimps in World War II.
Ooh!
And then the other half of the museum is, like, it just holds RVs.
What?
Because it's really, like, wet and damp and rainy in this part of Oregon.
Okay.
Like, Tillamook is just, like, cloudy and damp. And so I imagine kind of like at the beach where things just get rusty.
Oh, okay.
If you can just give something shelter and like just like away from the elements.
Okay.
So you can see like the other half of it. There's just like a bunch of RVs parked.
Yeah. Like,
and
totally
that's not even full either.
Changes the vibe and you're like, oh, okay.
This hangar is huge.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm sure. Blimps are huge.
Okay. So it used to house the Navy blimps in World War II, which is why it pays a tribute to the war.
Got it.
At most, it would hold 8 blimps at a time. And they were each about 215 feet in length. Okay, let's get into blimps.
Okay.
Okay, the first blimp ever was built in 1852 by Henry Gifford, or Gifford, you know.
I say Gifford. G-I-F-F?
Gif. I'm just kind of making a GIF joke.
Gifford.
It was built in France. This little guy was 143 feet long and had 3 entire horsepower.
Oh, 3 horsepower? Those
it was
tiny
like,
horses, like Shetland ponies.
It was like a gas-filled bag with an engine.
Cute. So cute.
Right? It wasn't until 1900 when Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin made the first rigid airship, which basically just means it has metal framework to hold its shape. In 1925, Goodyear began their fleet of blimps. And these blimps were built for advertising as well as military purposes. So where does the Air Museum come into play? Well, in 1942, the U.S. Navy had begun building bases for their new fleet of airships. Airships and blimps are the same thing. They're just one and the same, whatever.
Okay.
As the convoy, and blimp actually got its name because somebody flicked the blimp and it made like a blimp sound. And he was like, oh, blimp. And that's like kind of how it got its name. Yeah, but it was called an airship.
That's so silly.
As the convoy would come into the harbor, Japanese subs and German U-boats were sinking many of our ships. By 1942, there had been 454 merchant ships sunk. A lot of these ships could see land, and this is really like macabre, but sometimes there were swimmers in the water that would be able to see the ships basically be attacked and sunk and like see it happening in real time. The Navy had to come up with a way to save our arriving ships. Their plan was to use blimps to patrol the coast. Originally, Tillamook had 2 hangars. Only one is left now, and this is just like kind of just an interesting side note. They were supposed to be made out of steel, but because they were built during wartime, steel was being used for other things like ships and planes and weapons, etc. So both hangars ended up being made out of wood, and in 1992, the other hangar burned down in a freak fire.
Okay.
So there's one left. But there was 2 of these. They're so big. It was just crazy. Okay.
Did you say where the other one was before it burnt?
It was just right next door.
Oh, okay.
It was like yin and yang.
Okay.
It was like, yeah, right next to each other. In addition to Tillamook, the West Coast also had bases in Sunnyvale and Santa Ana. There were also bases on the East Coast, as well as the Texas and Louisiana coast. Their purpose was to fly up and down the coast and spot Japanese subs and warn the convoy of their presence. I just think that's so fucking cool.
I'm interested to find out why they decided that this was efficient. Or how they decided that this was efficient. Because it was quiet?
No, it had nothing to do with quiet. It was more just like we can kind of just put... Okay, so I'll kind of get into this a little bit later, but they fly at very low altitudes.
Uh-huh.
And so basically... And in 1942, this was like, oh, this is like the thing. It just was part of the technological advances in aviation.
Okay.
And so they're like, okay, this is kind of perfect. We'll just kind of ho-hum them along the coast.
Yeah.
And they'll find these things that are sinking our ships.
I see. Okay. Just gives it a little bit more of an aerial perspective versus being in a plane that's significantly higher.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
In 1943, the number of boats attacked by Japanese sub or German U-boat had dropped to 65. So from 400 and something, I don't know where that number went, 400 and something, it dropped to 65. By 1944, we had produced a staggering 3,000 blimps and only 8 sunk that year, with just a mere 3 in 1945.
Oh, wow.
Amazingly, every single convoy led in by a blimp was never attacked. So their plan worked. These blimps escorted 89,000 ships safely home. The German U-boats began using a snorkel in response to the blimps, which is it's like the thing that sticks out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe that goes without saying, but I was like, what's a snorkel? And some people say that that's when they actually started using submarines. Like they were U-boats, which is like a U-boat is an underwater boat, but they're like, they really stay right on the surface.
Right.
Whereas a submarine can go a lot deeper.
Right.
So some say that with the addition of the snorkel, that's when they started becoming submarines, like when the Germans actually started using submarines.
Okay.
In addition to scouting out the enemy lurking under the water or sneakily on the surface, they were also very useful in search and rescue and photographic reconnaissance. They were able to drop rations or supplies to sunken ship survivors and then call for help to come to the survivors. In some cases, they would actually lift people from the water directly into the blimp.
Oh, wow.
They are never something I remember learning about in school when we learned about World War II, but they truly had a pivotal role in a lot of the Navy's success.
Yeah. I've heard of Zeppelins.
Okay.
That's pretty much the extent of that.
And then I'm just going to say success lightly because I don't think that like war is a success or like sinking ships or whatever. Like it doesn't equal yay, like whatever. But the reality was we were in war. We had a job to do. Like we needed to defeat the enemies.
Yeah.
And
so in that sense, they were successful.
Right. I'm just success is a light term I'm using here.
You're not glorifying war. You're just stating that they had a job and they were able to complete it efficiently.
Exactly.
Got it.
Thanks, Haley.
You're welcome.
By the end of the war in 1945, blimps for military use weren't really needed anymore. Blimps for military use completely fizzled out by 1962. Not only were they difficult to store and handle because they're just like a big balloon, essentially.
Right.
And they were actually like the hot air balloon is what kind of inspired the blimp. Because it was like, okay, what if we made it go like in a different direction than up and down?
Sure.
So they were difficult to handle, but the advancements in aviation just made them obsolete. Planes were the much more obvious option for anything that the military made that went in the air. In the 80s, the Navy was considering using them again, but Congress said, nah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, we can't talk about blimps without talking about the Hindenburg. Have you heard of the Hindenburg?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to talk about the Hindenburg.
Okay.
It took 5 years to complete and was finished in 1936. It was the biggest blimp ever built at 804 feet long, just 80 feet. Right. This is just for size. It's 80 feet shy of the Titanic. It's 200 feet short of the Eiffel Tower. And it is 3 times the size of a Boeing 747.
Oh, my God. That thing is freaking huge.
Huge. Okay. It weighed 242 tons. That's a lot of moai.
I was like, I know exactly what a ton is because of the moai.
That's a lot of moai.
That's a lot of moai.
Oh, God. Okay. Built for luxury travel, it was designed to hold passengers and crew with beautiful dining areas and lounges. It even had a library and big downturned windows so you could see outside. So, like, literally the windows, like, faced down. So you could just look down and see what was like.
Like that building in Chicago? I think it's Chicago.
I don't know.
Oh, where you can like stand on the glass floor and like look out and it's just like
probably, yeah.
Bleh. I don't think I like that.
I think I would do it.
Yeah.
It had lovely living quarters, fine dining with 4- and 5-star chefs. They brought in to prepare multiple course meals. It was truly the most beautiful way to travel. And being built during the Great Depression, you were definitely well off if you could afford a ticket. In 1937, a ticket was $450, which equals $8,713
I was about to say, that's
today.
A pretty penny back then.
Yeah, $8,700 today. And if you had that kind of money to spend on you, potentially your spouse, or even your children, you were balling.
You were good to go.
Yeah. The Hindenburg had a normal cruising altitude of 650 feet or 200 meters, and in a lot of cases it would fly lower to be below the clouds. Its top speed was 84 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
But it cruised at 76.
Oh, okay. So they're just really cruising. They didn't really like amp it up to the 84. They didn't want to go too crazy.
Let's not get there too fast. Oh my God. So the sights that you were able to see were amazing. Truly a bird's eye view. Most commercial planes cruise at anywhere from 22,000 to 47,000. 22,000 to 47,000 feet. So at 650 feet or even slightly below, you're able to clearly see what's going on below you. In the theater I talked about in the Tillamook Air Museum, one of the films that they play is about the Hindenburg, and Alex and I sat and watched it for quite a while. They interview a woman who was a little girl when she flew on it, and she talks about being able to wave to the people below and seeing whales in the ocean. And at one point on one of its journeys, they actually lowered champagne down to a boat below them. So it's just like, all that to say, it's just like what you can see from it was just stunning.
Oh,
it's not like an airplane where you're so high up that you're
not
see,
seeing
like,
a horizontal view. I mean, yes, you are, but it's basically focused on like you're getting an aerial view.
Exactly.
That you wouldn't otherwise be able to see from such high altitudes, being in an airplane or a helicopter or whatever.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Now, the only way to get these blimps to float was either helium or hydrogen. And because it was built in Germany, they were only able to use hydrogen because at the time the U.S. had a helium restriction. So only people in the U.S. were able to use helium.
Okay.
I don't really know how they did that.
Interesting. Yeah.
But they were just like, no.
Those are the states. And they're like, we're going to do it and you're going to like it.
Pretty much. So they filled the Hindenburg with hydrogen gas, like bladders or sacs or cells.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like really flammable, basically.
Okay.
It flew 10 round trips in total and would take you from Germany all the way to North and South America in only about 3 days. On May 3rd, 1937, the Hindenburg departed from Frankfurt, Germany, en route to Lakehurst, New Jersey. After many delays, one causing one of its more famous scenic flights over Manhattan, it was set to land at 7 p.m., and for the next 25 minutes, the giant blimp struggled to land due to weight, wind, and mechanical issues. At 7:25, the Hindenburg caught fire while attempting to land. Everything quickly became engulfed in flames. There's discrepancy in the eyewitness reports as to where the fire broke out exactly, but because it was filled with hydrogen gas cells, it didn't take long for it to fully erupt in flames. It only took 35 seconds from the first sign of fire to the bow crashing into the ground. Of the 36 passengers and 61 crew, 36 people died from the crash and many more were injured and severely burnt. Because of the excitement surrounding its landing, there were news crews set up and radio broadcasting to narrate the monumental landing. Unfortunately, the crash ended up causing other traffic jams due to people listening in their vehicles. 85 years later, it's concluded that there was a spark that caught fire and caused the hydrogen to leak through. There are many other theories on what happened, such as engine failure, fuel leaks, and even sabotage as the reason for the accident. The tragedy and trauma that followed effectively ended passenger blimp travel. I do wonder, though, if it had been filled with helium and hadn't caught fire, if blimps would have had more of a future, but we'll never know. There are 25 blimps on Earth today, and I drive past a Goodyear blimp every time I come home from work now. About a year or so ago, actually, there was a Goodyear blimp right outside our house, just like right there in the air. I have a picture of it.
What?
We were just like,
why?
I don't know.
Just chilling?
Just like, what's up? I'm a blimp. I'm in the air.
Yo, what's up? I'm a blimp.
What's up?
What's up? I am.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was just telling you, I was like going through all of my photos.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, yeah, there's that blimp. There's the blimp. They're a much rarer commodity than they used to be, with only 124 pilots with an airship rating. My uncle actually used to be able to fly blimps, fun fact.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
The one we were talking about?
No.
Stacey's husband? Oh.
My dad's uncle. So he's my great uncle.
Okay.
But he was like into aviation. Actually, he was like he was the first person that I ever flew with in like a little 4-seater plane.
Oh,
when Nate
cool.
and I were really little, because he's been a pilot, he's been like an inspector, he's just
he just knows
all aviation,
the industry, yeah.
And so he took us up, and because it was 4 seats, my mom and dad each like took turns, and of course I was thinking like Nate and I were gonna have to take turns, but they let us fly both times, which was really cool.
Good parenting move.
Yeah, totally. So it was really fun. We got to fly up in this little 4-seater plane when we were pretty little. I don't remember how old we were, but like I think I was less than 10 years old.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, cool uncle award goes to him.
Very cool.
Oh, and then I also have a family friend, and they're the ones that we always go and visit in Oregon. Mm-hmm. And he used to be on the radio. Like he had a radio, like he was on the radio, and he actually did a broadcast from a blimp.
Ooh.
While their future is unclear, their history is fascinating. There are companies today working on the airship comeback. They will be able to do what no plane can do. Their goal is to be able to move cargo more efficiently because they don't have to land. So they basically can pick up and drop off cargo from the air. So they like lower down these, they look like ropes, but they're like rigging situations, and they like pick up cargo from these planes in the ocean. They don't need a landing strip. They don't need to land. They just hover in the air, pick up the cargo, and like move on. With the technology today, they are making them safer and more maneuverable. However, with commercial planes that are going to be available for flight in 2029 that go faster than the speed of sound and will take you from New York to London in 3 hours, we will have to wait and see if their heyday will stay behind us.
I'm stuck on that last fact.
Yeah, that's like a whole nother. So
I'm sorry, but
there's a private company that's working on a supersonic jet that's commercial.
Huh.
They've had jets that go faster than the speed of sound, but this one would carry passengers, and it will take you from New York to London in 3 hours. And they're going to travel at about 60,000 feet of elevation. And the way that they are designing this plane is the issue that they have with supersonic travel is that it's really loud. And so what it does is it breaks windows. It's like really kind of annoying for the people down below because it's just this constant sound. You're breaking the sound barrier. And so they have designed a plane that is as loud as a car door closing. And so really supersonic travel is only available over water because it's so loud. And I guess it was a thing like a few decades ago, and then it kind of like went out for whatever reason.
Weird.
Yeah, and now they're bringing it back, but it's really only for like transatlantic, like only if you're going over water.
Well, because they have the bullet train that they built and it's running. I don't think it goes anywhere near the speed of sound, and I could be completely wrong, but
no, I'm sure.
I guess planes. It only makes sense that planes are next.
It's this. I think it's called Overture. Is the company. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's called Overture. So, and Alex and I watch like this because I'm working out of LAX now, and there's a billboard for United that's like supersonic speed coming in 2029. And so I looked into it, and it's like really fucking cool. Like it's so fascinating. Yeah. And like it's gonna happen very soon, and it's probably gonna be expensive and like
of course it
whatever.
Will.
But I mean, from New York to London in 3 hours, like now from London to New York is a different story, because from New York to London you're kind of like if this is like you're working with the flow of Earth. So I don't know how long it's gonna take you to get back, but like their big selling point is 3 hours from New York to London. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's weird travel. I've been holding that in since August because I'm like, oh, blimps is perfect. Like, I love this. This is so weird. I knew nothing about blimps before that.
Fascinating.
And then I go to this blimp hangar, and it's like, this is so big.
Man, it puts it in perspective for you.
Yeah.
Wow, that was fascinating. I learned so much.
And then we watched the little movie about the Hindenburg, and yeah, I've been sitting on that one for a while, so I'm happy to.
There it is. Vomited on it.
Too. Yeah. So that's weird transportation.
Wow. You know what I was going to do?
What?
The monorail.
Oh my God. Highly.
But I specifically wanted to focus on like Disney's monorail. And then I was like, I don't think this is going to be enough for another episode. So we'll have to just look into it if we're
We
curious.
could do Weird Disney for an episode.
Wait. Oh my God. Coming to a Weirdify episode near you in the eventual future.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Awesome.
How have we not? We'll add that to the list.
Yes,
add
we
it
are.
to the list.
Yes, we are.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, because I enjoyed it much more than I thought I was going to be fair.
I mean, I knew I was going to enjoy it, but I did enjoy it.
I didn't think I was going to be bored listening to yours, but I definitely was like, I wonder what she's going to do. And I know that I'm going to get more like jazzed listening to like Amanda. It's like I'm going to be like much more excited and into it. This is actually a very fun episode.
It was.
I definitely went into it with not the best outlook on it.
So then I had suggested transportation after our trip there, because I was like, this is perfect. Like I've created my own little niche.
Yeah. And you're like, let's just put this in the pin box.
Transportation.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that was fun. That was good.
That was a good one. I enjoyed it. If you have ridden in a blimp, if you
know someone who's ridden a blimp,
if you've gone on a dog sled, if you own a husky, if you own a dog, if you own a dog that's gone in a blimp,
if you've thought about a blimp,
we want to hear from you. We want to hear all of the, or if you know of any other weird transportations that we obviously didn't cover. We've only covered 2, but I know that there's plenty out there, I'm sure. You can write into us at weirdifypodcast@gmail.com.
That's the one.
Or you can visit our website, weirdifypodcast.com, and visit our Make Contact page and submit your suggestions there. You can also find us on socials.
Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, those types of places.
Yeah, at Weirdify Podcast.
That's the one.
We thank you for tuning in every week.
Of course.
We hope that you've enjoyed this one.
Yes.
And, yeah, have a great couple of weeks until you hear us again.
You will hear us again soon.
You will hear us again. We will be back.
We are coming back.
We're coming back.
Just in time, ladies and gents, and theys and thems, and she's and hers, and he's
all
and
pronouns.
Hims. Everybody's
we'll
welcome
be
here.
back.
And until then, keep
it
weird.